All right, this is a video on how to tell if somebody doesn't know anything about Bitcoin, okay? I'm gonna run through basically like the first real, just plain as day, easy to see red flags, and that is repeating, commonly repeated media talking points, okay? Bitcoin uses too much energy. It's bad for the environment, you guys. More than 50% of, the energy used to mine Bitcoin and secure the network and process transactions is actually, renewable energy. There's a whole renewable energy commission that's like monitoring and finding those folks, and the largest mining pools make up the biggest chunk of miners out there, and so it's not that many people that they got to go reach out to in order to ask how they're getting their energy. And then on top of that, Bitcoin literally uses 2% of the current global fiat money system's energy. You got to think about that. Like, Bitcoin doesn't have buildings, it doesn't have employees who are, running a computer and need lights and water and use bathrooms and all that stuff. So like the entire Bitcoin mining network, they like to say, well, Bitcoin uses as much energy as Luxembourg or something like that. Like, oh, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's just sensationalized, hyperbolic anecdote. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not like saying that Bitcoin uses too much energy. It's like a comparison that's really just meaningless. You know what I mean? But when you compare, if you look at it, let's say Bitcoin does use as much energy as Luxembourg, or I think the definite thing was it uses as much energy as Kansas City. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. The global fiat system uses as much energy as 50 Kansas cities, and still takes 3 to 5 days and up to 10 days to just find out if somebody wrote you a bad check. Where's all that energy going? Where's it going, you guys? All right, so that's one of them, right? Another thing is, well, I like blockchain. I don't really like Bitcoin, and that is just like, that's like saying, I like light bulbs, or I like electricity, but light bulbs, like, I could do without those. You know what I mean? Like, it's what are you talking about? Blockchain's purpose is for securing data, making it transparent and verifiable in a cheap and effective manner. That's what blockchain technology is designed to do. If you have something secure that's accurate, verifiable, you know what I mean, by anybody, also permissionless for the most part, blockchains don't have to be permissionless, but most blockchains are. How come you can't put money on it? You're telling me like you could store sales contracts for houses, or you could store life insurance quotes and trusts and wills on there. You'd be okay with using blockchain for that, but putting money on it, it's dumb. What's another thing? The transactions per second for Bitcoin. Look, man, first of all, the Lightning Network, it works, okay? It works really well. I've been using it. It's, what's it called? It's incredible, okay? Like, you could send payments very quickly, instantaneously, for very cheap. With that, you can now process many, many transactions per second. But let's say Lightning didn't exist. Let's just say, right? Okay, so Bitcoin processes, 3 to 5 transactions per second, okay? That's very slow, right? You have Visa that could do like 100,000 transactions per second, or per minute, or something like that, right? Okay, very, very slow, right? No lie. Here's the thing, is that the reason why it would take so long if we didn't have Lightning Network is because it's literally verifying everything. It's verifying that the person who sent you money has money in their wallet, and it's verifying that the money in your wallet that it's about to add to is correct. You know what I'm saying? And so with that system, we can eliminate fraud. Would you want a payment to come to you, which happens all the time? If you ever had chargebacks, Would you want a payment to come to you, right? That you completed a sale, you made a transaction go through, the payment came to you, the person walked away with the product, and then later on, 5 days, 10 days, 21 days later, your merchant comes back to you and says, hey man, turns out that transaction was no good, so we're taking our money back. Thank you. Boop, boop. And it's 21 days later. Like, I'm sure you did something with the money. You know what I mean? With Bitcoin, when it was the worst case scenario for how long it would take to process transactions, it was only 6 hours compared to 3 to 5 days, a week, 10 days. And we're talking about business days too. You know what I mean? What else, man? The U.S. government's just going to regulate it, and it's going to be over. It's going to be done. They're just going to tax the hell out of it, you guys. Look, man, I'm all for paying taxes on crypto. It's actually pretty cool to do that. But, I mean, it's not really cool. I mean, it's paying taxes, but whatever. It's cool because it's like, crypto, right? In Ohio, you could pay with Bitcoin. In some other states, you could do that too. You pay your taxes with Bitcoin. So look, show me how the government's going to regulate it. Show me how the government's going to regulate it. Show me how the government knows how much Bitcoin is in, how much Bitcoin is in Kim Kardashian's wallet. Show me how the government knows that. How's the government going to know that? Go look it up yourself. So open. We have just as much access to the Bitcoin or the Bitcoin blockchain anyway, as the government does. Everybody does. Show me how they're going to find out who has what. If I sent a Bitcoin payment to Kim Jong-un, nobody could stop that, dude. Nobody can stop that. You know what I'm saying? There's no barrier. You can write as many laws as you want. You can write, in Harry Potter when Professor Umbridge was just making laws, and they were putting rules, and they were putting these rules like, framed on the wall and stuff, and they were running out of places to put it. You could fill up 10, 15, 100 of those walls full of laws about regulating crypto. Just how do you do it? How do you do it? It's a permissionless, decentralized, meaning that nobody has permission to engage in it, to use it, to receive funds on it. Nobody has any permission at all. You don't need your social security. You don't even need an email address to download an app and use it. You don't even need to download an app. You could just go on any browser and use it. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't block it in any country because all you just got to do is use a VPN, which I really recommend people using VPNs anyway. I'm probably going to put one on my phone. I've been meaning to do it, but just haven't got around to it. But you should be using VPNs because hackers are like, it's a real thing. It's a real threat. Your whole life is digital damn near. Might as well protect yourself, right? How are they going to do it? Like, everybody tries to say we should do this, end Bitcoin now, or the government's going to stop it. There's no way to do it. There's no mechanism to do it. There's no office of Bitcoin that you could send a cease and desist letter to, or raid and arrest everybody there and lock up the servers. There's nothing like that. It's worldwide. It's global. Anybody can engage with it. There's technology that exists. First of all, there's a satellite that's up there in the sky that just processes Bitcoin transactions. There's a whole satellite just for that. If there wasn't a satellite, there's technology that exists that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin payments through ham radio. Through ham radio. If a sun flare hit and killed all electronics in the world, there's people who have Bitcoin blockchain full ledgers inside of a Faraday cage to protect it. You know what I mean? Bro, like, there's so many, because it's decentralized, because anybody can participate in it, right? Like, there's an incentive for me, if I'm storing my wealth there's an incentive for me to fortify the network. There's never been something that exists like that. There's never been something that existed like that. You know what I'm saying? And they can literally take tangible steps to secure the network in a way that if there was a nuclear war that occurred, there's there's safeguards in place to make sure that once the internet does come back on, you know what I mean, that the Bitcoin blockchain would just sync up, boom, hit the network, bow, start running. The protocols would just reach out to each other on the web. You know what I mean? So stop. You know what I mean? You can't do that, right? You can't do that. Okay, what else, man? There's well, why would we use Bitcoin? There's 14,000 other cryptocurrencies. There's probably a better one. It's probably not going to be Bitcoin that we're going to use. That's what people say. So, and they say it in that voice. When I hear it, I hear that voice. I hear that kind of voice. So, look, man, yes, there's 14,000 other cryptocurrencies. Bro, as somebody who's heavily invested in many cryptocurrencies, bro, there's, bro, a lot, okay? Let me, just take my word for it, okay? Just take my word for it. I'm invested in a lot of cryptocurrencies, okay? If there was a better one than Bitcoin, I promise you, bro, I'd have been bought it. I'd have heard about it, or I'd have stumbled on it. I'm always looking up new stuff. I'd have stumbled on it, you know what I'm saying? And I would have heard about it, or if I stumbled on it, heard about it, whatever, I would have researched it. I would have been like, whoa, this is better than Bitcoin. And then I'd be buying it. And then I'd be telling all you guys over here on the video. Take my word for it. As you know, me speaking to somebody who literally doesn't know what they're talking about, okay? Literally doesn't know what they're talking about. Me speaking to you, there is no better coin than Bitcoin, okay? Yeah, there's coins that do all these awesome things, smart contracts, or, you know, provide DeFi platforms and create DeFi protocols and ways of making money, and, you know, payment systems that can occur automatically, and, you know, all this kind of stuff, right? Like, there's like tons of stuff. Private transactions, there's, you know, I mean, there's supercomputers that'll amalgamate all the processing power on the network from all the computers that are using it, blah, 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 whatever, you know, store files on it, decentralized and for cheap, and have cloud storage, and blah, 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 blah. So all kinds of stuff like that. There's hella coins, okay? There's a ridiculous amount of coins out there, okay? It's unfathomable how many coins are out there. Bitcoin is still the best. Why? Because on all those coins, there's an originator who hasn't relinquished full control or a lot of the coins. What else? The Bitcoin, all right, a 51% attack is a technique hackers use to try and take over blockchains. The shorter your blockchain, the more susceptible you are to a 51% attack. Bitcoin has a 12-year-long blockchain, okay? Bitcoin is, like I just said, it's global, okay? It's all over the planet. It's everywhere, you know what I'm saying? It is a blockchain that, sorry, man, I think I went to the wrong, oh no, I went to the right exit. Okay, it's a blockchain that is literally decentralized. Like, you could not find a central point of attack for the Bitcoin network. You know, the case could have been made that China was that, but now it's not anymore. So they kicked everybody out because they kicked everybody out, kicked out all the miners. Which leads me to my next one, China. You know, the Chinese miners are gonna take it over, bro. That's so old news now. It's like a ridiculous amount of old news. It's like ancient history. It's like, it feels like thousands of years ago, that news. That's definitely a red flag. You're talking to somebody who has no idea about Bitcoin, right? China did have a large concentration of miners, but it was unverifiable just how much of the computing power, or the hash rate, I should say, was, you know, processed in China. That wasn't verifiable, right? So there's a lot of speculation. It was FUD, basically, okay? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, with no, you know, verifiably tangible way of knowing if it was true or not, right? And then China instituted a blanket ban on Bitcoin, and, you know, all the miners literally packed up all their mining equipment and left China. And now they say, well, it's centralized in the US or wherever, you know what I mean? But if you're talking to somebody who says that things are centralized in China, you know, the hash power is centralized in China, so they could just take it over. Sorry, be done, be gone, evil spirit. What else? Man, there's so much stuff. Denny's coin is going to be the next coin. It's going to kill Bitcoin. It's over for Bitcoin. It's because Denny's coin is here now. You know, because those high transaction fees, you guys. First of all, yeah, as somebody who sends a lot of Bitcoin to people and to myself, I'm telling you right now, I don't think in the entire time I've used Bitcoin, I've paid more than $3 in transaction fees, okay? And, you know, if I had sent it through like Cash App, it probably would have cost me easy many times, you know, 30, 40, 50, 80, 100 bucks, you know what I mean? To send money, right? Because I'm using the Bitcoin network, I don't think I've ever paid more than $3, bro. You know what I mean? And, bro, you know, look, man, a lot of transactions, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just going to keep it at that. Anyway, transaction fees are not that high on Bitcoin. They're just not. And as far as Denny's coin or Plant coin or Truck coin or Toyota coin or whatever coin anybody says it's going to be the Bitcoin killer, you guys. You look, man, you know, why would we jump onto this new coin that nobody knows anything about, that's not tried and true? It's not battle tested. It's not been you know, no nation state has deployed billions of dollars to hack it for years and was unsuccessful. You know what I mean? Like, why would we trust that coin and say, oh yeah, Denny's coin is here now, so let's all relinquish our holdings of Bitcoin and now let's just hop on Denny's coin. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Come on. It's clearly somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about, bro. You know, I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I don't think that Bitcoin is going to be the only coin that's here to stay and that every other coin is going to be whacked. Some people that's out there. Sorry, I had something stuck in my throat. For some people, it's like out there. You know what I mean? Like they're really on that hype. They're Bitcoin maxis is what we call them. But to say that another coin will replace Bitcoin, you're crazy. To me, you sound crazy. You sound crazy. Bitcoin is literally digital gold. You know what I'm saying? It's literally digital gold. We don't know who made it, and even if we did, that person wouldn't matter. I mean, they would matter like as a person, but not in terms of the blockchain and you know, the technology that Bitcoin deploys. You know what I'm saying? There's no that person would have no relevance. There's no centralized concentration of coin that we got to worry about, or mining power that we got to worry about. There was no pre-mined coins that somebody's storing, you know, 70% of the value of the circulating supply in a wallet. Nothing like that. You know what I mean? I could go on and on and on. Excuse me. There's not going to be anything that is going to overtake Bitcoin, is going to beat Bitcoin. No. All right. So if you're talking to somebody and they start bringing up all this stuff. Oh, another thing. Well, Bitcoin's over with because billionaires are buying it and they have a lot. Like, I don't know, man. People just don't think about it. Maybe some of you have had these thoughts too. And I've had some of these thoughts, like a very few of these thoughts before when I didn't understand Bitcoin. All right, look, man. Like, just like right now, I don't care if somebody has more money than me. There's so many people that have more money than I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't care that they have more money than me, right? What I care about is if they could print more money for themselves and have more money for themselves, and it cost me more money from my savings, right? From what I'm saying, basically inflation, right? That's the part I don't like. I don't like that part. That part it's criminal. You know what I mean? If a counterfeiter who made the most perfect, absolutely identical counterfeit bills produced 40% of the circulating supply of money and mixed it all with all the money that's out there, and there's no way for you to know, wouldn't you be mad that there's all this extra floating around money out there that's counterfeit, and some schmuck who printed it all for himself and his friends, you know what I'm saying, was out there just big balling on money that he printed, and you know, you're here working and saving money, and he's just depleting your savings supply, your savings buying power, because he just is popping out dollars all the time. You know what I mean? Oodles and oodles, 100 stacks on stacks on stacks. You know what I mean? M's and B's and T's worth. You know what I mean? You'd be mad. But because a government entity does that, you're not mad. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. It's an issue of mathematics, dude. Like, it's not an issue of who has the right to, because nobody should have the right. And that's what Bitcoin solves. You know what I mean? Is now nobody has the right to print as much money as they want. And your savings, your buying value is now protected, at least from the money printer. Now the market is there. People around the world is there to decide what a Bitcoin is worth. And you know what? That's justified, man. That's justice there. And you have the freedom to engage in this this payment system however you want, whenever you want. Nobody has to verify your birth certificate or your social security number or your ID. Nobody has to do any of that. And so globally, 4 billion people now can engage in a global internet-based, system of commerce, bro. Before this, they could not. 4 billion people out of almost 8 billion could not engage in global e-commerce because they didn't have what anybody would deem a credible birth certificate or ID. Bro, it's asinine, right? So look, the freedom is there. The justice is in everybody's ability to engage in it and nobody's inability to control it, right? And those two there, freedom and justice, creates equality now. You know what I'm saying? In the entire system. All right? And you having more than me because I know you couldn't print it, however you got it, unless you stole it, but however else you got it, is justified, man. That is your coin and you have a right to have that coin. You know what I mean? And so, even look, billionaires on Wall Street can get into it. It's a fallacy to think that, because Wall Street buys it, that now it's useless. Now it's dumb. Now the ethos is not there. Nah, bro. It's, if this is a system that could protect poor Teddy's buying value, right? Then it should, if it's an equal system that provides Teddy with equality and justice and freedom and all that stuff in terms of economics and payments, right? Then it should do the same thing for the rich Wall Street guy or the rich banker. I shouldn't want it to not do that for that guy. You know what I mean? Because if it could not do that for that guy, then there's a way for it not to do it for me either. You feel me? And so, it's my 2 cents, man. It's the way I see it. But, these are just a few. There's so much more out there. But here's a few ways to know that the person you're talking to that may claim that they know crypto, Bitcoin, blockchain, etc. is full of, you know what I mean? So don't be fooled by these people who have, maybe a little bit, maybe they've just read more headlines than you, right? Or they have a favorite person on YouTube who doesn't really like Bitcoin and they like that person's perspective, right? But, I hope I was able to illustrate just how wrong they are in the way that they're viewing this thing. And none of what I said that is wrong, I don't think I stated an opinion in terms of the reason why they're wrong. I think I only put factual, verifiable, I hope they're facts, right? I hope they're facts, but I think they are. I have to go back and watch this video just to see, but I don't think I said anything that was opinionated. Maybe I gave my opinion about some things, but in terms of the mechanism that makes what those arguments are false or partially true, but not effectively true, yeah, you feel me? Facts on facts on facts. So yeah, man, that's my 2 cents. Love you. Hope everything works out for you. Hope everything's going great. I hope this video found you in the best of health and spirits. And if it didn't, I hope you get to feel better. Holla at me. I'm here. Love you. Peace.